Hey folks, welcome to yet another episode of Yet Another Beer Show. I'm Colin.
And I'm Casey.
And today we're going to review another Christmas ale for you to check out during the holiday season. And this is one Casey found. It's called the Abita Christmas Ale, Abita Ale Christmas Ale. And they're out of Louisiana.
That's correct. They're about 30 miles north of New Orleans. And something kind of cool about them that I read online is that after Hurricane Katrina, they made a restoration ale, they called it. And a portion of the proceeds went to recovery efforts, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the profit that was, but...
A portion could be anywhere from 1% to 99%.
I think it was $1.
That's cool.
I don't know, how that works out, but either way, still a good gesture.
Yeah, and I think the neat thing about this is the Christmas ale, and I think the neat thing about this, at least the back of the bottle says, is they kind of change and tweak the recipe every year.
Based on feedback and...
Yeah, so every year they're kind of tweaking it. Now hopefully the 2010 Christmas ale is better than the 2009, is better than the 2008.
Correct.
So I'm enchanted by Christmas ales and want to see what this one brings.
Sure. It's 5.5 ABV.
So it's a little bit lower for kind of a heavy ale. So it's going to be probably somewhere in the mid-range.
Sure. And while I get this open, something that will excite you is Abita also makes a root beer.
I do like root beer.
And they make it using, they don't use corn syrup, they use pure sugar cane.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So that sounds good.
There's a few different like soda shops that do that, like Jones Soda does that. Mm-hmm. They use pure cane sugar and everything like that. But let's get to the alcoholic side.
Yeah, no for the kids stuff.
No for the kids stuff. This is kind of a neat color here. If you guys see like the way Casey poured it, it actually almost looks like a root beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this kind of like, it has a warm red, brown color, and a pretty good head on it to start.
Definitely. Pretty thick and dark.
Yeah, actually, it's hard to see through this. It's not, I wouldn't say opaque, but it's close.
Yeah.
And it's funny that such a dark beer has kind of a fairly average ABV. Mm. But the smell is just kind of a strong, for me, hoppy smell.
Yes, very, very hoppy is what I'm getting.
And yeah, just kind of, it's mostly just that. Mm-hmm. Which is, it's different. Like a lot of Christmas ales tend to go towards the maltier side than the hoppier side. But
yeah.
Let's see what our tongues think.
Cheers.
Weird way to say that.
Yes.
It's the word that comes to mind is sharp.
Sharp. How so? Back to the lab.
Back to the lab. More tests. It's just kind of a quick experience, like.
Not a lot of aftertaste or...
Not it's very crisp. It's hoppier than I expected it to be. I mean, not after smelling it, but kind of looking at the bottle and kind of thinking of Christmas ales. It's a little bit hoppier than I thought. Mm-hmm.
I can see what you're saying about the sharp taste. There's not a... it doesn't quite, when you first put it in your mouth, it's not quite a, here I am, and it's not a strong aftertaste either.
It doesn't really linger, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time I kind of get a swirl here, I spill stuff all over the place.
Well, that's what Daisy was looking at. Yeah.
It's very easy to drink though.
Very easy to drink. I'm not getting a very I hate to say this, but a Christmassy kind of taste, and no overwhelming spices or the malts aren't overpowering. It's just a pretty decent ale.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's more of a regular ale than say it doesn't really strike me as a Christmas or winter seasonal ale. It's just I don't want to say average because average seems like a mean way to describe it, but it's just kind of your typical.
Typical
sounds a little bit worse. Yeah. It's kind of a typical ale flavor, and it's kind of a little bit of a darker ale flavor than it is, say, a Christmas flavor, which you normally expect for a Christmas ale to have a little bit more in terms of spice or weird ingredients mixed in. This doesn't really bring that to you. We're drinking it fairly cold, and it's good that way.
Yeah.
But it's not kind of going outside the box very much.
I'm getting, along with my weird metaphor taste, here's my latest. Like a...
This one tastes like rainbows.
Some like coffee bean or some sort of kind of...
I can sense a little bit on the aftertaste. There's kind of a little bit of a coffee kind of flavor. And I don't know if there's any ingredients in there that are coffee bean ingredients, but...
Probably not.
I mean, it's not uncommon for coffee to be a part of a different brew. I kind of sense that a little bit. It tastes, its kind of aftertaste is very much like if you've ever had like a Sierra Nevada or anything like that. It's very similar to that type of ale where it's
I can see that.
It's just kind of like, oh, all right, I've had a beer. My mouth tastes a certain way because I had a beer.
I'd be very curious to see what they've changed over the years. They were.
It would be interesting to know like what are the ingredients that are new for 2010, old, have been left out in different reasons or different quantities.
And what their feedback has been, what people have been saying, and what they've changed based on that. I'm actually pretty curious to know what that was.
Yeah, I would say in general, like this would be a good gift. Like they actually recommend it as a gift, and it's also that I think the thing that's worth noting is it's not very expensive. Abita doesn't go out of their way to make tons of money on. I mean, hopefully they're making money, but they don't make tons of money on all their brews. Casey actually got this as a gift along with buying other beers.
Yes, it was free as to complete a 6-pack.
Yeah, so it's fairly readily available. It's not that expensive, and I would say it's a good gift for someone who just likes your regular old ales. Yeah, it's not necessarily an adventure. It's just kind of a regular old ale more than it is, say, a Christmas ale.
Right, not your elitist, snooty beer drinker friends would probably not like I said, not a lot of character to really analyze and dissect, but someone who just likes ale, I think they would like this.
Yeah, but it's easy to drink. If you're at a party, you're around the fire, everyone else is drinking wine, but you want to have a beer.
Yes,
this is a great one
definitely
to have. And I mean, I understand that it's great to enjoy during the Christmas season, although it doesn't necessarily bring out the paramount features of a Christmas ale. I would say overall, I enjoy it as a beer. I'm a little bit disappointed that it's not Christmassy, not a little bit more wintry Christmassy, but it's all around a well-rounded beer.
I'd have to agree.
So it's the Abita Christmas Ale from the Abita Brewery in Louisiana, but I'm not sure. Are they in New Orleans?
30 miles north.
30 miles north of New Orleans. And it's a pretty good brew.
I'd agree.
So go out, see if you can find it out there. It's the Abita Brewery Christmas Ale. That was Casey.
That's Colin.
And we were Yet Another Beer Show. Take care, and have a Hanukkah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.